Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial of SystemVerilog in 5 minutes. Today we'll talk about string variables. This is a Hello World program in SystemVerilog. If you are not familiar with this code, you can refer to the Hello World video. Hello World is a string value. Instead of using the value directly in the display function, you can create a string variable to store the value and then use the variable in the display function. Before we talk more about string variables, let's understand the display function formatter. Let's say you have a number and you want to display its value. You can use the formatter in the display function. The %d is the formatter. It means to print the number in a decimal format. Depending on the variable, it may display spaces preceding the value. To get rid of the spaces, you can use %0d. Similarly, you can print the number in binary or in hexadecimal by using their respective formatter. You can also use multiple formatters like this. Just make sure that the number of formatters and the number of succeeding variables match. For example, there are 3 formatters here and there are 3 variables here. There are a few operations you can perform on string values. One of them is concatenation. You can use curly braces to combine 2 strings together. Here, name2 is John. There's also a formatter for string value, which is %s. This allows you to play around with the messages you want to display. For example, you can use curly braces inside the display function. Here, it will print hello John space John. You can compare between 2 string values by using double equals. In this example, the comparison would return false, as the 2 string values are different. There are other comparisons which you can perform, such as larger than or smaller than, but in my opinion, it is uncommon to use those. If you want to use them, make sure you understand string comparison is not the same as number comparison. You can refer to the language reference menu (LRM) to find more information. String variables have built-in functions. One of them is toupper, which will return the string value in uppercase. Similarly, there is a tolower function, which returns the string value in lowercase. There is also a getc function, which stands for get character. You need to provide a position as argument, and it will return the character at that position. For example, getc0 here will return character at position 0, which is j. You can also use substring to extract partial string. It requires 2 arguments, which are the start position and the end position of the string. The example here will return Joe from the string John. Here are some other built-in functions. The length function returns the length of the string. The value here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and therefore it returns 4, meaning 4 characters. The atoi function returns the string value as a numerical value. The string is 1, 2, 3, 4, and therefore the int I will become 1, 2, 3, 4. The itoa function does the opposite. It converts a number into a string. I is 5, 6, 7, 8, and string would become 5, 6, 7, 8 in string. Now before I continue, there are a lot more built-in functions for string. Read the LRM to understand more. There are system functions to write to and to read from a file. This example is for writing. You need to use fopen to open a file. File.text is the file name and W is to indicate a write. The system function will return you a file descriptor fd, which is used to determine if the file is opened successfully. Then you can use fdisplay to write content into the file. At the end, you need to use fclose to close the file. Similarly, you can read from a file. You provide R in the fopen function to indicate a read. Then you can use fgets to read one line from the file and put content into a string variable. Once again, there are many other system functions to manage file I/O. Please refer to the LRM for more information. Let's do a quiz before we end this. Compare these 2 pieces of code. Generally, at reset, state goes to off, while not in reset, state will alternate between on and off at every clock. Can you tell the difference between them, other than one is enum and another one is string? Well, the answer is that enum being a number is synthesizable. The string is not. In summary, string variables are used for displaying messages. It can be useful for debug, especially if the message is clear. In the next tutorial, we'll talk about structure.